Most salespeople suck. That's why we have such a bad reputation, and it makes sense. With over 15 million people in the US that work in the profession, there's going to be people that ruin it for everyone. The good news is that it's really not that hard to stand out and be a top performer, and it's no surprise I see the same people at President's Club every year, over and over, and they all follow a very similar framework. So let's talk about it. Number 1, fanatical communication. Good news, bad news, updates, changes, progress, whatever. I make it my goal for my customer to never have to follow up with me because I've already communicated with them. Even if it's just telling them that I don't have an answer yet, just to let them know I'm all over it. And if you have additional needs or problems, they are going to be addressed that same day. I was once told there are 2 days in every day, 2 day and 2 night. So if I have a busy day, I will at least respond and acknowledge their message that night. They've trusted you with their business and their money. It's the least we can do to show an extreme sense of urgency, even for the smallest of accounts. Sophisticated buyers will sniff out any person or company they know is going to be a headache down the line, and you'll lose the deal before it even starts. They care much more about responsiveness than how amazing your presentation skills are. Number 2, everything is in your job description. You own the entire life cycle of the customer. Data, supply chain, accounts receivable, implementation, customer support, all these details that salespeople hate, it's your job to manage. Now, that doesn't mean you can't delegate these things to competent people, but if it's not getting done, that's on you. It is always our fault anytime we don't meet the customer's expectations. And our customers are so used to hearing excuses from lazy, subpar salespeople that you would be amazed how well they receive bad news when you communicate it timely and take complete ownership over any mistakes. Ultimately, sales is all about solving problems. Understanding all areas of the business is going to allow you to find creative solutions when inevitable, challenging scenarios arise. As the adage goes, the more you learn, the more you earn. Number 3, act like you want to be there. If you hate your job, either pretend you love it or find a new one. Sales is hard, it's stressful, it's mentally exhausting, and it tests you every day, but no one is forcing you to do it. And it's a privilege to have a job at all, especially one with so much upside. Personally, I wouldn't settle for a job that I wasn't extremely passionate about, but I know everyone has different circumstances. The way I see it, if you have to be there anyway, you might as well put a smile on and at least act like you love it. It takes the same amount of energy to be an optimist that it does a pessimist. And if you're looking for a way out, the only way to do it is by being a high performer and opening up a new opportunity. If you can't suck it up for yourself, at least suck it up for your family. You leave money on the table every day you walk in thinking you're entitled to something more. And if you have to wonder if people know that you're miserable at your job, then the answer is yes, and that's 100% holding you back. Number 4, know when to walk away. Not every prospect is meant for your product or service, and that's okay. The last thing we want to do is coerce or manipulate just to make a sale. I promise you the aftermath of that just isn't worth it. You may get away with it once or twice, but trickery is not a long-term strategy for a career in sales. This profession is built on referrals and references. Without those, you might as well just start working on your resume. I have no problem telling a prospect that it just isn't a good fit. And ironically, they typically want to do business with you even more after hearing some brutal honesty. Look, overall, everyone knows the negative stereotypes of salespeople, and a lot of times it's very well deserved. But ultimately, the best salespeople that I know find a way to break through those negative preconceived notions, and usually it's through some kind of pattern interrupt. For me, I am an introverted accountant that sells into some of the biggest companies in the world. It's not because I'm some Grant Cardone, Jordan Belford, I'll sell this pen to anybody kind of guy.
Sell me this pen.
It's just I have human-to-human interactions with other people that have problems, and I'll just meet them wherever they're at in order to solve their problems. And usually it ends up being a good experience. And the last thing I wanted to mention here is what you do outside of work matters. And it seems to me that some salespeople are kind of idiots, right? And I don't mean you have to be a hermit like me and stay inside all weekend and do pretty much nothing, but every action has a consequence. I've just seen so many people get themselves into unneeded trouble because of decisions they make outside of work, even though they are incredible at what they do. So just keep it in mind. Everybody goes into work on Monday starting at 0, and a lot of people will start ahead, a lot of people will start behind because of poor decisions that they make. And on that note, if you want more sales style videos, subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments down below. Go sell something. I'll talk to y'all next week.